All right, so new football season is upon us, so it's time for a new episode of A Bite with Butch. Coach Butch Davis, how you doing? How's the offseason?
I'm doing good, and we're in a place you could actually get a bite here in the Graham Center, you know?
It's appropriately named. Now,
no kidding.
Before we dive into all the football, you're blinding us here with that ring. Yeah. So what do you got? Which ring you got on here today?
Okay, this is the bowl ring for last year's football team. Win 8 games, go to the bowl game. And so every member of the team, players, coaches, trainers, managers, a lot of people that obviously helped the program, the administration, all got the bowl ring, and so it's really good. It's a great reward for them.
See, this guy's got Super Bowl rings. He's done in the Gasparilla Bowl ring, representing FIU very proudly. Okay, so let's dive right into this this sort of off-season you had. I know last year, getting the players to buy in was a big thing for you. But now, after an 8-5 year, a bowl appearance, do you feel like you guys are humming?
Well, here's what I really truly tell you. Last year they did buy in, and I thought the effort, the attitude was outstanding. I think here's where we think it's the next step. The buy-in is already a given. Now it's the next step. It's the expectation. It's taking ownership of the team and making sure that leaders start to develop. Who's going to be the leader of the different position groups? How's that going to grow? And the expectations and the standard of accepted performance on practice and on game day, we wanted to move that meter up.
Yeah, now I know when we talk about that offense, you start with that offensive line, 5 guys returning. So you look there and you're like, man, we're set. It kind of doesn't matter who's going to be the quarterback back there because at least you know they're going to be protected.
Yeah.
But Coach, are we going to break some news here today? Do we have a starting quarterback?
Oh, we may have a little bit of a starting quarterback news, but I want to talk about the offensive line. You referenced 5 starters come back, and that's really, really good. But what I like as much about it is we got some competition going on that 1 or 2 of those may potentially even lose that starting position. And from a coach's perspective, I really want to have 7, 8, maybe even 9 offensive linemen that could go into games, every single game, and there's not a drop in the talent level or the effort level. Obviously, the quarterback with Alex Magoo leaving, I mean, he's done phenomenal. Seahawks they're going to be the talk of the league for being smart enough to draft him. So who's going to be the quarterback? Christian Alexander came back. You know, he was the returning guy that was the 3rd-team quarterback last year. Grad transfer James Morgan that started at Bowling Green. He's played in some big games, not only MAC games for Bowling Green, but he's played against the Michigan States, a lot of the Big Ten teams. And I'm going to tell you what, and this is not coach speak, the difference between the 2 of them, after you look at the way they graded out in blitz periods, 2-minute drills, all the unique situation things, I mean, it is microscopic. Oh my gosh, it's like 63.9% to 64.2 in different ones. Here's what I will tell you. You come to Ricardo Silva Stadium on Saturday night, you're going to see both of those guys. They're both going to play in the game. Okay,
I got to ask though. One's got to start. I'm not going to ask who's going to start, but what do? Do you flip a coin or what? Pick a name out of a hat?
No, we're going to. One of them's going to get named as the starter and take the majority of the reps. I mean, you can't, to get the starter prepared, it's probably a 70-30, 65-35, but we learned a lesson last year, and I take full responsibility. When we went to the bowl game, we really felt like we had a great chance to win that game. If Alex stays healthy with with his talent, I think it would have made a dramatic difference in the bowl game, but we found out our backup quarterback was not ready to go in that game. And so we're not going to let that happen this year.
Now, something I did notice, no matter who's back there throwing the ball, is I was looking at the wide receivers and watching the film from spring.
Right.
It seems like there's a lot of depth there.
Well, I am happy. I'm happy with the fact that the depth. And here's what happens when guys get injured. We lose our 2 starting wide receivers, Julian Williams and Thomas Owens. And in the middle of the season, you're like, oh my God, we're losing our 2 starting receivers. The silver lining of that is that guys like Bryce Singleton, guys like Austin Maloney, a lot of the younger guys, Shamir Thornton, they got a chance to play. And some of them, they scored touchdowns in the UMass game. They scored touchdowns in the Western Kentucky. So they've had game experience. So what that does is it builds you a pool of guys that are interchangeable. As much as they run all over the field in the up-tempo offense, you better be prepared to have at least 6 guys ready to go every game.
Now, we do want to talk a little bit on the defensive side of the ball as well. You lose some guys and leaders like your Anthony Wentz and stuff like that. But I know you got some talent on the defensive line, especially at defensive end. Which unit throughout camp was really the most impressive?
This sounds good. I mean, one, it's a toss-up in some respects, a little bit from the defensive line, but the other group that I was really impressed with was the cornerbacks. A year ago, I mean, it was roll the dice a little bit. We lost all 4 starters in the secondary. Brad Mohammed came as a walk-on, earned a scholarship, became the starter, and led the team in interceptions. But losing him, losing Brown, I mean, we lost a lot of guys in the secondary. But the spring that these young kids have had and the training camp that they've had, and flipping Stanley Thomas over from wide receiver to corner, that's created some depth. And getting Ike Brown back after he broke his collarbone last year. So I really feel like that we've got some speed, some athleticism at the corner position. The defensive line, you cannot play. And it was amazing the way that we played last year, because literally we had about 5 or 6 guys collegiately that could go in. Now we would love to have as many as 8, 9, or 10 guys contribute and play every Saturday.
Now, I know if you haven't seen some of the footage from the spring ball, the scrimmages, if you haven't been out there, those guys were hitting.
Yeah.
This program, they seem that they're ready for week 1 against Indiana. And when we talk about Indiana, they're coming in a little short-handed. Morgan Ellison at running back, they're losing their top.
Don't buy into that short-handedness.
I mean, but let's call it what it is. Their top rusher from last year isn't here. So, from a coaching standpoint, what does that do for that game?
Well, I mean, obviously they've got dynamic offensive line. They're big, they're physical, like us. They've got a lot of returning guys there. They've got those skilled guys at the wide receiver, a lot of the big play guys. Quarterback is very athletic. He can throw the football.
And finally, what does it mean having them come in to Ricardo Silva Stadium? You're gonna get them right off the bat in your home stadium. You got to feel good about that, especially coming off the momentum.
Well, here's one of the things about opening games of the season. During the year, there's always going to be a little bit of the unexpected. I mean, everybody tweaks and changes their schemes and their talent and the pool of people that they play with. First game of the season, they got to be a little bit like us. We've never seen them play on film. So you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Formations, personnel groupings, defenses, blitzes and stuff. So you really want your players to be poised and understand that, hey, you're going to see something that we haven't even practiced for. But your fundamentals, your techniques, your rules will take care of that. And playing in the first ball game, I think both teams are going to be super excited. I think bringing them here, I think, I'm excited about the energy level on this campus. I think people are looking forward to the 2018 season.
I mean, just the energy level in this room right now.
Absolutely.
There's definitely a buzz. It definitely feels like game week. September 1st, Saturday, 7 p.m., Ricardo Silva Stadium. Butch Davis is going to be there. Yeah. We're going to be there. It'll be a good game. Butch, as always, thank you very much, and good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.